All right, here we go. AEW All Out Review Part 3. Yes, Part 3, we left off talking about Dustin Rhodes. He's going to have a title shot versus Brody Lee for the TNT World Championship. That match going to be good, though. I know Dustin Rhodes, he been around forever, so he's going to bring it to Brody. That's going to be a crazy match. But next we had FTR versus Hangman Page and Kenny Omega for the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. This was a really good match. Both teams was hitting hard. Hangman Page did a shooting star press. He was standing up and he did that. That's pretty hard to do that, to do a certain move standing up though, but he did it though. FTR, they was working on Hangman Page ribs and they was doing frequent tags, but Hangman Page was hanging in there. And in my mind, it kind of felt like Kenny Omega didn't want to be in the match at first, but when he got in, Kenny Omega was on fire. He did some crazy moves. He did a Hurricanrana. He did a drop kick from the top rope, got a 2 count on there. He did a running knee to dash. That was, wow. That was really effective. I'm telling you, Kenny Omega, he is a very effective wrestler. When he get going with those snapdragon suplexes, he is really hard to stop. But FTR, they kept fighting back. FTR, they was throwing Hangman Page out the ring and trying to beat him up outside the ring. But I think one of the turning points was when they was working on Kenny Omega's knee, Dash and Wheeler. They was working on his knee. So that really slowed down the momentum of Kenny Omega, because I was like, yeah, you got to slow him down because he just going all over the place. He really was. But, Hangman Page, he was hanging in there. He did this crazy dive to FTR. But I think it was just too much for Hangman Page. So they had took out Kenny. So they was focusing on Hangman Page. And FTR did their spike pile driver. And they got the victory on Hangman Page. And I was just like, wow, like this was a good match though. I recorded. I might even watch it again. This was a really good match though, it really was. So I give it up to FTR. They are the tag team champions. And after the match, Kenny Omega was so mad. He didn't even want to go to Hangman Page and just be there for him. So he left out the ring and he was leaving with the Young Bucks and he was like, he can't take this anymore. So I'm guessing this is it for Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. But I think they both can be good singles wrestlers. They both are athletic. They both got a lot of moves. They both can do a lot in that ring. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. But next we had Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. Yes, part 3. This match was crazy indeed. Wow. So Jericho, of course, is demo god Judas. That's why I kept saying Judas. But it was so cool when he came out. Everybody was singing that Judas song. I was like, wow, yo. It was cool. What have I become? What have I become? Everyone I ever loved, I pushed them all away. I was like, that was so cool, man. That was so cool. But Orange Cassidy, I'm telling y'all, is a really cool wrestler. But the start of the match, Jericho did a cold breaker from the start. Like Cassidy just turned around, bam, cold breaker. That was a 2 count. I was like, wow. And then Jericho took it outside the ring. He threw Cassidy through a table. And I was like, wow, like Orange Cassidy, he gonna have to get up. So Orange Cassidy got up. He did a super kick to Jericho. And I was like, come on, Cassidy, you can do it. Cassidy, boy, he was relentless, boy. He was not giving up. Then he put Orange Cassidy through another table. I was like, whoa. That was pretty crazy. But this was a Mayhem Mimosa match. So basically you could win by pinfall, submission, or throw your opponent in either Jericho's bubbly juice or Orange Cassidy's orange juice. Yes, it was Mayhem Mimosa match. I know it was something new, but you know Chris Jericho is always the inventor. He created the Money in the Bank, WWE Money in the Bank ladder match. So that was his idea. It was still crazy he never won that match. But back to this though, Orange Cassidy had got back in control, but Chris Jericho got him in the walls of Jericho, and I thought he was going to tap out. I just looked at the expression on his face, and he got out of that. His back was hurting for a little bit. Jericho was working on his back. But then Jericho did another code breaker and got a 2 count. And Jericho was getting mad. And then Jericho went on the apron. And boy, he did that Superman punch one time. Jericho's hand was on the rope. I was like, he gonna fall in that juice. And then Orange Cassidy did it one more time. And Chris Jericho fell in that orange juice. Oh my God, that was so crazy. I was like, Jericho, you fall in some juice again? Like, damn. That was crazy though. But last but not least, we had the main event was Jon Moxley versus MJF. And I will say, just like I said in the other video, MJF is a talented wrestler. But as they were saying, MJF, he grew up, he was a rich kid, so he really didn't have to do much his whole life. Limousine riding everywhere since he was little. Jon Moxley just had to scratch and claw his whole life. He's from Cincinnati, so he had to just fight for everything that he has. And that's a good thing. Like, it's good to be hardworking. Like, I wouldn't want to just have everything. Like, for me, I just rather work hard for everything. So that's what I've been doing as well, too. But this match was really good, though. Started off, Moxley did some big chops to MJF. And, JR was like, MJF got to keep this in the ring. And I said, yeah, you better keep this in the ring because, once Moxley get outside the ring, that's his territory. So they got outside the ring. And then MJF was trying to bring him in the ring. But Jon Moxley went back in the ring and did a suicide dive. I was like, yeah, there you go. But then once they got back in the ring, MJF had this headlock move on Moxley. I was like, okay. So I was like, he trying to control the pace, but at first he was, but then the little turning point was when MJF threw Moxley to the ring post. He kind of injured his shoulder, and then MJF did it again. He hung Moxley's shoulder on the rope, so Moxley had more of a he had that shoulder injury, and I was like, oh my goodness, like Jon Moxley, like his shoulder. I was like, but what Moxley did was pretty cool. He got back in the ring and he was in the corner, like ramming his shoulder into the pad. So I guess he could. I don't know if he was putting his shoulder back in place or what, but that's the type of champion that Moxley is, man. Like, just like you said, you're gonna have to break me down if you want to take this title. And that's what a champion is. Like, he don't care. He can have a broken arm. He just put that back in place and he was still wrestling. So Moxley took MJF outside the ring, gave him a big slam outside the ring. MJF was hurt. And this was crazy. Jon Moxley he threw MJF to the ring post, and MJF was bleeding like crazy. I was like, whoa. Like, see, now you are in Moxley territory. So once he got in the ring, he did a pile driver, and that was a 2 count. And I was like, wow, I can't believe MJF kicked out of that. But It was crazy. Saw this one fan, and the one fan sign said MJF stole my lunch money. He said MJF stole my lunch money. I was like, oh my god. I was like, how they like that fan was really cool though. Really cool. But MJF was, I mean not MJF, Moxley was biting MJF head and he was going crazy. But you know, MJF was running his mouth. He was like, come on. So they start slapping each other like crazy. I'm telling you, it was crazy and funny. And then they was hitting each other. They was giving each other elbows to the face. And Moxley was sitting there smiling. He was like, that's all you got? And he got hit. And he was like, that's all you got? And he got hit. He was like, that's all you got? I was like, yo, Moxley love violence, man. So this match was just going back and forth. But MJF hit one of his moves, the heat sinker from outside, from like where the apron was at to the ring. So I thought that would be a turning point. And then it was crazy. MJF did the crossroads on Moxley. I was like, whoa. Like, really? He stole Cody Rhodes' move, but Moxley kicked out of that. And then the turning point, MJF got the referee to turn around. He gave Moxley a low blow. I was like, oh, he playing dirty. I was like, I'm enjoying this, boy. I was like, Mox gonna kick out of that. So he kicked out at 2. And then he did it again. He turned the referee around. Warlord got on the ring. He threw in MJF ring, but he knew he couldn't use it. So that froze up MJF. And then Moxley did his signature DDT move, boy. I was like, and I was over here laughing and everything. But John Moxley got the win, got the victory. Moxley got the victory. Yes. And I was so happy. But now he got to face Lance Archer. Now I will say, I think Lance Archer could be the one to beat Moxley. I'm saying it first, because this guy has been destroying everybody in the locker room. If y'all been watching, y'all watch AEW on Dynamite, I'm telling y'all, Lance Archer, he be destroying everybody in the locker room. I'm telling y'all, everybody in the locker room. So y'all gotta be on the lookout for that. But this was a good match though. Really enjoyed this show. It was a long show. It was like 14, not 14, wow. I was about to say 14 hours. That would have been crazy. It was 4 hours, but it felt like it was going on 5. Started 8 o'clock, went off like around almost close to 12, but it was a good show, and I can't wait for AEW 4 Gear. I think it's coming out November the 7th. That's good, so I can't wait. Then we got some more AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. Gonna be there. Thank y'all for listening to this review. It's been great. Woo!